Okay, in this video, I'm going to basically name off a few inventions that work on both destroying this nano, basically getting the nano out of the system, and to also dealing with the frequencies. These are the current things that we know that definitely work so far, or at least as far as I know that work so far. Okay, number one, the anti-nano frequency repulsor device. This repulsor device is designed basically with, repulsing magnets on their repelling ends in stacks of two. This is usually goes up to like around 20 magnets total. Um, Basically, yeah, like I mentioned before, you would have it's either like 2 or 21, depending on how many you have. So basically, you have them in stacks of two on the repulsive ends, and you basically got some copper or something to basically, just to hold them together in place. And this is supposed to you know um filter the frequencies to where like it's actually supposed to like block them in a way. um haven't had I tested that thing out, and as a result, I don't know if you got to actually have it on your person or in a bag. I don't know which one really works the best, because I've been utilizing a lot of stuff, but either way it works pretty well. So we know the repulsor device works. Now then there's the second invention. There's the anti-nano bucket. We know that this drains nano and stuff out of the system. So there's that. Then there's number three. Number three would be the positive energy generator, which, well, was the invention I made. And this is also comes in handy considering the fact that they're bombarding you with everything negative. So what you need is something to basically basically counteract that, and pretty much being able to, bring something positive. Now, the positive energy generator is made out of both copper, repulsive magnets, once again by their, by twos, and shungite, organite, copper, magnets, and some chakra beads. I've added that shortly after, just in order to continue, to make sure the balance is elevated and whatnot, and amplified. So when you first put this thing on, the effects of this is going to be quite tremendous. I'm not even joking. It's going to feel quite amazing. And you won't even be, you wouldn't believe how much negative energy you've been bombarded down with. And you'll actually be able to feel it once you put this thing on. I mean, I'm not joking. You actually be able to feel like the positive energy just boosting up all of that negative energy that has just been weighing you down. And it feels kind of funny at first, but like you'll get used to it. And it's just because it's just elevating all of that negative energy that has just been weighing you down all that time. So we know these inventions at work. Now, some of you may have not even tried the actual positive energy generator. That's fine, but at the same time, like, it definitely helps you out quite a lot. Now then, there was one other device that I've yet to make, and this is why I wanted to basically check out certain things as far as everything that's used for this weapon grade system. Okay, so frequencies are used for this stuff. Now, when it comes to all of this stuff that's involved with this, first off, let's basically look at the facts here. First off, this whole thing that they use to poison us, well, there's obviously nano, which is made out of, some heavy metals. And in this case, this type of nano that they lace us with is not made out of heavy metals. It's actually made out of a synthetic type, or a biological synthetic type of substance. So because of that, certain electronic shocks aren't as helpful, depending on some type of shocks. Now again, it all depends how you go about it. It really does. Now, some are effective. Now, Mike Chapala's, I have yet to try his out yet, but it seems like if you have like a right frequency that seems to be on the same frequency as the nano, they can't stand it and they start to die off. This is another solution that I had when I mentioned to you guys about the fact that you use the frequent the frequency generator. Now here's the thing: you don't want to just toy around with this thing because you got to understand there are good frequencies and there are bad frequencies. That must be understood right there because just messing around with something like that, I would never recommend anybody to just go with any random frequency at all. Like I said, when it came to like the FM, the frequency 200 was used for that. But if you're not using that method at all, then I believe that 1150 was either dealing with parasites or fungus. It was one or the other. However, as far as this stuff is concerned, we know that there's the nano, which is basically made out of this synthetic substance. So when I use right frequencies, if you look up right frequencies on YouTube, look up the one that has the 35 on it, like the 35 right frequency parasite, anti-parasite mix or something like that. Basically, that seems to work the best against these things because they always shift to a completely different location as a result just from playing that tone alone. Um, so that's something that forces this stuff to move. So far, we're on the track here of dealing with this. Now, here's the other problem: both the fungus and the radiation. Those are the other two problems. The problem is that the fungus that this stuff is creating is basically helping it create this biofilm, which is also creating these gray hairs that's allowing these signals to be produced. So the main culprit is obviously both the radiation and also not just the radiation, but the fungus as well. So it's both nano, fungus, and radiation. Those are the two main culprits when it comes to this stuff. The fungus grows to form a biofilm. The radiation, think about all electronics. You can't have electronic working without radiation, right? So there you go. But also, this radiation is in place to not just for that purpose, because this stuff is on your nerves, so it's basically living and functioning off of the electrical current through your own system. Now, the radiation that's in your system, is there to basically accelerate the growth of the fungus. You put radiation on the fungus, it's going to just accelerate its growth. So we know about that. So basically, the radiation is basically nothing more than a support system for the fungus to cause it to continue to grow. This is why whenever you start killing this stuff off and you actually are really making progress, you will probably feel like a jolt, a complete shot of radiation out of nowhere. That's because they're trying to accelerate the growth of this fungus that you're killing off. This is why I said, being in an apartment, it's just not worth it, dude. It just isn't. Um, Being there, look, they had this stuff placed into my apartment at some point in time. I thought it was just coming from the pipes. I saw no evidence that this was liquid coming from the pipes. All of this was based. It may have been what do they call that? Um, what's the name of that? It's some it's some type of nano, and there's this peculiar name for it. Um, I can't think of it right now, so let's move on from that. But anyway, so this particular liquid, they had it placed in certain puddles throughout the apartment, like I mentioned before. They've done that, and after I cleaned it up, I noticed like maybe a couple days after there was a spot of fungus in the exact same spot where this liquid is at after I had cleaned it up. So not only that was strange, what also was strange, right, was the fact that they were dropping some type of liquid throughout the freaking air conditioning unit in there. And this is what I was getting at. You gotta understand, like, as much as you're detoxing this stuff off, dude, this stuff is growing everywhere, throughout your walls, throughout your flooring, everywhere. That's how bad this is. They want to beam your home with fungus, well, not with fungus, but with radiation to continue the growth rate of that fungus. So as you kill it off, it's growing back. So you got to also be able to, take methods in cleaning your home or whatever. I think there may be methods to also killing out the fungus that grows outside too. Because this stuff, this biofilm, dude, it grows outside. It grows around the homes and the outside. Wherever there's radiation to accelerate its growth, it's going to grow. That's the problem. And this is why they always beam your home with radiation. This is why they always do this. Every time. Every single time. They do this to accelerate the growth of the fungus, to accelerate the growth of the biofilm, which is making these hairs, projecting these signals, and what's basically orchestrating these attacks and keeping all of this stuff in place and repairing it, because the stuff can't just, you know, stay in place. No, it's going to fall apart eventually. That's why they got the nanobots in there for. That's what the nanobots are for. They're there to basically use for both torture, manipulation, mind reading, mind altering, and also just many other effects too. That's just some of the things that this stuff is capable of doing. It's not all. So I wanted to create basically, since the obvious conclusion can be made, I wanted to create an invention that not only basically destroys the frequencies, not just that, because the repulsor's good for that. We know the repulsor's good for that. We know the positive energy generator is good for positive energy. We know this. So if that's capable of dealing with the frequencies, and shungite's enough to deal with both radiation, and I don't know if it's about fungus. It may deal with fungus. I don't know, but the thing about this is that there's natural stuff out there for this. We got to really break this stuff down to its basics, and that's what's going to allow us to view the vulnerabilities of all of this, and we'll be able to basically come up with something, to create something that will naturally destroy this stuff in our presence. Just from this contraption that we could construct, it will be enough. People, I'm going to design something that is capable of this. This is what I plan on doing. I want a device that's capable of basically detoxing radiation. I want a device that's capable of naturally just killing off fungus in its presence. So once you have something that destroys these things, and I'm telling you, because I've ate vegetables before this one time, and because of me immediately just doing a complete change with my diet, and this was the most creepiest feeling I've ever had. And this is how you know when you start clearing some of this stuff up. There's like a thick layer of fungus underneath the skin. All right, there is. There's a thick layer of fungus between both the skin and the muscle. Okay, there is. Now, how do I know? Because when I started to kill this stuff off, because of me changing my diet around, so much of it started falling apart, that I could actually feel these nanotech parasites move around. I've done this twice. Okay, 2 times, 2 different times. I've used a recipe. That's something that also works. And as a result, this stuff came out of my stool. So the recipe works, the repulsor device works, the anti-nano bucket works. Now, as for the Rife belt, it's like I said, I used the Rife belt, but I didn't just use the Rife belt. I used headphones, and I used the anti-nano bucket. The anti-nano bucket was stripping the nano out of my body. I had the belt basically dealing with the fungus. The headphones was dealing with the radiation. Stripping the nano out by the around my legs, killing off the fungus around my waist, and basically detoxing the radiation around my skull. 3 different methods that I've used. And you want to know what the result of me doing this caused? And this happened in my apartment now. This caused them to beam me with radiation directly at my gut. Every time they would zap, I would get a huge jolt around that area. And it just goes to show you that's like the central component area of where this nanotech stuff is at. It goes around there because it needs to process and pick different particles out of the food that you eat in order to basically create all of this stuff, in order to basically try to rebuild the structure of this signal grid that it makes along your back, going up past your neck, your ears, and all the way around your crown. So since it's going obviously going through the kidneys, so we gotta flush our kidneys. Look, the supplement stuff that Look Out for Charlie recommends works. Judging from a lot of TIs, that stuff works. But my warning is quite simple: be careful when you do this, especially now. If you hadn't seen the video, check out the video, TI Positive Proof, that I've uploaded a while back on this channel. Please do, because him and his family basically got this junk out of their systems, and they came after them. And you see, that's just it. They're going to try to pick us off one by one unless we gather up together in order to support and help each other out. And that's easier said than done. A lot of people have trust issues. A lot of people have situations like that, you know. But in the end, the only thing I can basically ask for is just do what you feel is best for you. Do what you feel is best for you and what your line of judgment is. Remember, it's your life, your choice to make. Don't let these perpetrators make it, basically change that around. But one thing, despite all of this all of the harassment going on, all the directed energy towards and all that stuff that's happening, we got to really look at this for what it is. God is judging everybody. We are in a position to where everything's being judged, and it's just as it is. It's going to be pretty damn bad. It is. It truly is. The way I see it, it's a position to see who's going to be selling themselves out to the beast, who's going to just be so enamored with comfortability that they sell themselves out to the beast system just to be put back in that falsified sense of security. You see how that works? We all make mistakes, but I know most of you out there would be damned if you ever joined that damn system, myself included. I'll be damned if I ever allow that to happen. I want to truly and genuinely help people out there who are suffering just as well as I have. I truly do. I do not wish to bring children into this world of my own, of my own, of my own genes. Considering what's happening, adrenochrome is something that exists. I'm already a targeted individual. I don't need my own offspring involved in something like this, especially with what's going on now. The fact that they can set this stuff up to where they can take your kids away without even telling you where they're at. I feel bad for those who already do have kids in times like this. It's unfair in so many more ways than one. If you do your best to protect them, but then you got these bastards out there with a screwed up mind who are trying to program you and twist you into something that you're not. You're having to fight this off day and night, even in your own sleep. You try so hard to fight this stuff off. You try so hard to get away, but no matter where you go, they seem to always follow. People, they're most likely going to pick us off unless we gather up and help each other out. Like I said before, that's easier said than done. Not everybody has the means to do this. I get it. And so many of us are spread far and wide, and it doesn't make it any easier the fact that they're putting stuff on lockdown. I've seen so much, I've experienced quite a lot, but despite all of this, I've not decided not to stop helping people, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how dangerous the situation may be. Regardless of whatever day my life ends, at least I know that I stuck it out to the end, helping people out there who are in need, who are just going through troubled times like this. At least I know that as much. And I believe that any any of my deceased loved ones would be damn proud of me for that. And that's the same thing for all of you who's basically sat out there, struggled, spreading out awareness and are helping people out there in a time of needs, spreading information out and making sure people's stories are heard. People's pleas, people's worries, their sorrows, their happiness, all of the stuff is heard. That they do have a voice. These demonic individuals out there are going to do whatever they can within their power to stop us. But you need to understand the reason why they do this is to lower your frequency down. Lowering your frequency down seems to put you in a position to where you're more irritable, more likely able to basically swear, more likely to basically be able to do things more in the negative rather in the positive, being much less peace of mind. In a way, it puts you in a bit of a weakened state because you naturally have to have balance. So they want to undo that balance, which is also why they're trying to undo your chakra alignments as well, with a lot of stuff that they pull. Now, when it comes right to it, these situations, dude, these situations as they are, they get out of hand quite fast. They do whatever they can to try to basically project negativity towards you. But you're not a negative being. You're positive. You're supposed to be filled with love, care, tranquility, all of that good stuff. And they do nothing but seek to tarnish every bit of it because they basically seek to destroy what they cannot understand. But there's one thing that they do understand, and they understand the fact that we have something that they can never have. And it's that very fact that pisses them off every day. This is why they cannot stand to see us happy. This is why they cannot stand to see us joyous. This is why they cannot stand any of this. And I know it's extremely petty. It is. It's the pettiest thing that anybody could ever be like that. I don't care how much money or how much power you got. The fact that you're getting pissed off just because someone has a smile on their face because they just want to be happy and happy-go-lucky, like that's just pathetic. Okay? It just is. I don't give a damn what your excuse is for that. I calls it as I see it. Bottom line. Um, that's just it though. They want to basically condemn a lot of us to hell, but God's not going to let that happen. No. I don't believe in taking life because to do so would be, like we would be overstepping a boundary. God put life in place for a reason. It's not our call to take that life away. It's like you could even look at an insect and think the same thing, like how in the end, this thing may these things may have some amount of intelligence on their own. They may not. They may just be going strictly off instinct, but they wander in environments that is clearly not suitable for them. It's not a suitable food source. And the only time it is well, if we have something that basically attracts these things, their food source. So it's naturally they would crawl into a territory that is not fit for themselves. But they'll learn to adapt to it. What I've learned is to respect life, no matter what sizes they may come. Rather small, large, doesn't matter. Despite this, though, it doesn't mean that you cannot protect yourself. No. I don't aim to ever, I don't, nor do I have the intentions to ever take life. I just have the intentions to not be disrespectful to the life that was given. This also includes my own life. God gave me, God gave me reason when He created me. Same thing goes for yourself as well. There's reason in your very own making. There's a very good reason as to why you're here today. There's a very good reason indeed. Same thing goes for just about every single one of us. Look at what we're doing now. We stood and we fought even as hard as we could, even now. Spreading out awareness and helping those who don't have the means to help themselves, who don't have, the necessary information to defend themselves. There are newly people who are being targeted every year and every day. This is true. This global agenda seeks to basically pull a fast one on trying to just did anybody think about it? Why are they so desperate out of all these times? Why now are they so desperate? They could have done this at any given time. All of this targeting that we go through, they could have just offed us at any given moment. But oh, that's right. They want to make money off of us due to these illegal and unethical experimentations. And if we were to basically end, no. If they ever had the intentions to end us, it would have to basically be to where our soul, not just that, but our soul would be condemned to hell. But you see, this is not, the soul is eternal. It's a very difficult thing to destroy. And it's simple because the only being who has the ability to destroy a soul is God. That's it. The devil can only basically enslave and devour souls. That's it. Absorbing them within itself. That's it. But the very essence of that soul still very much exists. But judging from the character of these narcissists, it seems like their heart and their whole being is nothing more than a void. They cannot hold and understand emotions at all. They can't. And the only time they can get the most out of us is when they basically hurt us. I don't wish to ever make reasoning out of what they do. I only have only one thing to do. That's on my mind. That's while I'm here, help as many people out as I can. So at least I know, and at least I can say that I at least tried to do something. And I know a lot of you out there feel the same way. You feel the pain when you feel pain in regards to what's going on. You feel the same pain that everybody around the world who's going through this is feeling. When they jolt you with these direct energy attacks, you know for a fact that other people have gone through the same thing. They feel the same pain. You know for a fact that these psyops, all of this verbal harassment, all of this crap, the setups, you name it, all this stuff that has happened. You know other people have dealt with it as well. But it's unfortunate because there are people who are not capable of defending themselves properly in these type of situations. And unfortunately, they seem to fall victim of foul play from time to time. No matter how I look at this, when I look at this from a logical perspective, thinking about it in a way that, like, obviously, why would you work for an organization that's doing this? And that you see that they're trying to roll this out to everybody. And you see that they are desperate with control. You see, because people showed you a video clip of Bill Gates saying, we don't want certain types of people to have a conscious like mind. We don't even want them alive. We want depopulation and only a certain percentage of a certain type of individual to it only be inhabiting the land. They said this. And they didn't just say that, they said like a certain significance of an IQ level. I don't know about the next person, but these people who are perpetrators, I don't think it's them. I don't. As for us, I highly doubt it. Seems like they view us as either cattle or something else. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But I do know one thing. The whole situation of how the Son of God basically rescued everybody from the land of Egypt, is it just me? Or does it seem like they're trying to turn everything into Egypt? And like it's just seeming like that. It just seems like that. And it's like it's gonna happen to where we're all gonna be rescued out of here. But we have to hold on. Times are gonna be bad and they're gonna get tough. But you have to be strong. Understand that there are other people out there going through these torments just as well as you are. There's so many people out there going through the same thing, and so many people who can definitely relate to your pain, to all the stuff that you have dealt with. I pray and send love out to each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay strong.